Hey y'all, welcome back to the Sim Twins. My name is Brooke and today we are doing another speed build. Now this speed build is a bowling alley and I am very excited with how it turned out. We built this over on our Twitch channel, and if you would like to become a part of our Twitch community, we will put the link to our Twitch channel in the description below. We would love to see you at any of our live streams. We have so much fun with our community over there. But let's get into this video, and before we get too far, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and you turn on those notifications so you know every time that we post a new video. But the reason why I wanted to do a bowling alley is because I really haven't used much of the Bowling Night stuff pack, even though I got it a few months back. I thought it would be a fun idea to create a bowling alley and really kind of recreate bowling alleys that I have been to in real life. I thought it would be a very fun way to just create a place for your Sims to come and hang out. I definitely tried to use as much of the Bowling Night stuff items as possible, and the one thing that is really kind of annoying about the bowling lanes are that they are super long. Originally I had this on a certain lot, but I had to end up moving it halfway through the build because the build just was not big enough to house the building and to have enough room for everything that I needed. So I had to end up and change the lot to a different place in Newcrest so that you have room for all of those lanes. And I did add in bathrooms, although I cut out the bathrooms from the build video, but they were really fun. I used a really fun tile on the walls. I thought that was a really fun little way to make the bathrooms look nice and fun and inviting, and kind of retro in my vibe, in my eyes. And I also added in a little place for your shoes, and you'll see that later as we continue to work on this build. But I really wanted to make this build feel kind of retro, kind of to fit the same theme as my build over for the Midnight Diner. I thought that that worked out really well, having those two kind of fit into the same landscape. So if you put them into your builds at the same time, you'll have the bowling alley and the diner, and they really look like they do fit into the same little town. I thought that was really cool to go with this kind of cute little retro-esque vibe for these builds so that we really can create a cohesive landscape. And I really enjoyed using the brick from Dine Out. It's one of my favorite bricks in the entire game, and it just looks really good. And I actually ended up using the linoleum from Dine Out. It is a little crazy. It's got some like orange stripes in it, but again, or maybe I went with the red swatch. Actually, I think I changed it to the orange swatch, but it is a little bit I did change it to the orange swatch, but it is a little bit overwhelming. So if you want to go in and change it so that it's not that orange swatch, totally feel free to download this off of our gallery. Our gallery ID is the Sim Twins 14, and change up any of the stuff, add in any of the pack items that you have. But I'm just having a really fun time with this, building community lots more recently. One of the things that we are doing on this channel is we are doing the Build Newcrest Legacy series, and the whole point of the Build Crest Legacy series is to create new builds for Newcrest and really create a really vibrant, cohesive Newcrest town. And so I've been building a lot of community lots because I want to get up my community lot skills. Building a community lot, I would say, takes a different set of skills than just building a regular house, because you're really thinking about how does the space work for a bunch of Sims coming to a specific area at the same time. And so when I was building this lot, I did make it a bar because I was told by one of my mods over on the Twitch channel that if you make it a if you make it a bar, then it will work perfectly. And we tested it out during the stream, and Sims were going there, and they did have on their bowling night outfits and going here to bowl and also to get drinks. So I thought that was really fun, and I really enjoyed the bar area. I just loved adding that fake grass, and I just thought it looked really cool. And over here you can see I'm adding in those specific bowling night stuff, places for shoes. It just looks really cool. I did change up the color from this brown, and you'll see later that I used the black swatch, and the different little cubby holes are actually yellow and purple, if I'm not mistaken. And I just thought, an orange. And I thought that was just really cool to have those different colors. And, you know, it just made the build feel even more real to life, having that wall of shoes. And on top, I just used a basic little half wall for the roof because I wanted to just make it like a flat roof. And I thought that worked really well for the type of build that I was going for. You know, maybe an older industrial-esque kind of building turned into a bowling alley, or it's been there for a while since the 70s or anything like that and hasn't really been renovated that much. I just really liked that. I also added in doors in the back, of course, because if you're building a, you know, community space, you have to make sure that you have many different entrances and exits to the place. So that is one of the reasons why I am doing that. It just makes it feel more accurate to how a space would be in real life. And I added in these strobe lights because most of the bowling alleys that I have been to in my life don't have very bright lighting, and the lighting that they do have are these strobe lights because they like to use them to make a really fun ambiance, especially on special occasions like Halloween and Valentine's Day and those holidays. They'll just turn on those lights to different colors, and it just makes it really fun. And here what I'm doing with these columns is I wanted to place TVs because whenever you go to a bowling alley, there are always TVs up on mounted from the ceiling. But you can't mount things from the ceiling, unfortunately. So I didn't want them to just be hanging out in space. So I tried to add in these columns so that you could have that feeling that they're not just floating in space. And those are supposed to represent where your Sims can look up at the screens and see what their current scores are. How many strikes have they done? How many strikes have they not done? What is their score overall in bowling? Because I think the top score, if I'm not mistaken, for bowling is 300. I have barely made over 100, which is pretty bad in bowling. You want a higher score than that. And I'm just really happy whenever I go bowling and I can get a strike. That just makes me feel really good. And if I can get 2 strikes in a row, I'm like, whoa, oh my gosh, it's been a good day. But anyway, I just thought that those TVs would just be a fun way to represent that, represent your Sims being able to see their scores. And I don't think it looks that bad overall. And when the Sims were here, they had more than enough space to play on these lanes, so that was really good. But I added up front a little area where once you come into the front door, of course you have to check in and get your shoes and buy your tickets for the lanes, of course, because they're not just going to let you come in and play bowling for free. This is the tables from Get to Work. And also the cash registers from Get to Work, although they don't actually work because this is a bar and not a retail location. So they're really just for looks, but I liked adding in these little trophies. I thought they were super cute, the little bowling ball trophies. They were super cute. I originally put them on the little area for the front entrance, but I ended up moving them to their own trophy case because my Twitch chat said, hey, that would be cooler, and I agreed with them, and so I moved them to their own little space, and I really liked how this little spot turned out. Even though it's more for looks than anything else, I just thought that it added a bit of realism to this build. I like adding in the realism. You, of course, could change this into a lot for your Sims to own, although you would have to add in places for your Sims to buy certain things because there really isn't any kind of items that you can buy in this location. But I used the really cool pop painting that came with the pack that was a strike. I just really liked it. It's very monochrome. It looked really good, especially when I had it over the area where I put in those trophies. I just thought it was a super cute place to do that, and it just looked really nice. I wanted to add in some more paintings, but I ended up not doing that because of the fact that I just didn't want to overwhelm this space. It's already kind of like zany and wacky, but I really liked it, using that really minimalistic pop painting on the wall there behind the little area where you can check in and everything like that. But then I move into working on the outside of the build. For the outside, I kept it pretty simple. Like I said, this build is definitely trying to match the vibe of the other build that we did, the Midnight Diner. So I really wanted to add in the parking lot area and just add in a little front entryway for your Sims to go through. And I did kind of make this fun on the front. I made it tropical. So where you can see, I actually took those bowling pins and I sized them up so that they could act like little signs out front, and I used the bowling signs that came with the bowling night stuff, the bigger ones, as an entryway to the parking lot. But I end up adding in tropical plants, so we have some. First of all, I tried to do bamboo. I thought that the bamboo would look fun and that it would add kind of a fun dimension to the build, especially since this is pretty industrial. I wanted to make it more green. So I originally tried to add in the bamboo, but I didn't end up liking what that looked like. So I take those out and I actually add in some palm trees that came with Island Living. I love the palm trees in Island Living, but they are so tall. Like, they are so tall compared to the size of the build. So I ended up just making them a little bit smaller by scaling them down with the bracket keys. And I really liked the size that they turned out. I tried to make them different sizes, you know. I think that this was mentioned in the chat when we were working on this, but I think in The Sims 3, if you place down trees and everything like that, they were actually different sizes because, you know, in real life, plants are not going to be the same exact size. And I really thought that that was a really cool little realism added element to The Sims 3, but I don't think that is necessarily true in The Sims 4, that it does that as well. So I just sized them down to different sizes and that kind of stuff so they would feel more lifelike. And then, just like I did with the Midnight Diner, I added in a double entryway. So you have the little foyer area before you go straight into the bowling alley. And of course, I just used some of those really nice retro looking sofas from the pack that I really liked, and an umbrella stand. And in the back, I did just what I did with the other build. I put in the little parking lot so you can have your little debug cars there. Even though we are not getting cars in The Sims 4 this year, and we might never get cars in The Sims 4, I still like adding in the debug cars just to make this build feel more lifelike. And I also added in a place for your Sims who like to ride their bikes, because I was asked in the chat if I could add a little bike rack. And so I really liked that, adding in the bike rack, because if I lived in a place where I felt safe riding my bike to places, I would ride my bike more. But there's not really an area I would have to ride directly on the road, and I'm not a fan of that. So I don't ride my bike throughout my neighborhood. But if there was an area that I lived that had a bike lane, I would totally try to ride my bike more. But we are getting to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you download it. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know what other kind of builds you would like to see on this channel. But anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in another video. Bye, everybody.
When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise, tear all the worries out of my mind about who I'm supposed to be. I start to believe I can't get it right. Remember the days I let slip away, they were simpler times. told me before you leave. If there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, child, don't forget who